You're listening to the First Row Sports Show.
The First Row Sports Show. YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to these days, it's coming to you. It's not live, but it's just about as live as it gets. Darnell Duff and Brady Legg. We're going to flip it over. The Vegas Golden Knights, their first year against the San Jose Sharks. I think this is going to be a great series. And statistically, the winner of this series has a really good chance of winning the Stanley Cup. I'll go through those statistics after. I know you're looking at me thinking, stats. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. In your mind, who do you think wins this series, and what are some of the intangibles and reasons why they will?
Vegas, and just strictly due to the fact they have Marc-Andre Fleury, and they see magic, and you know what? That would be fun. I want to see Vegas and Nashville in the Western Final, I'm not going to lie, because that is going to be the craziest series I think the NHL has ever seen. Just because it's two fan bases that are just that wild and that crazy. And that's no slight to Winnipeg, but, you know, the American teams with their fan bases, they're built from, like, the ground up. Us, it's kind of like we grew up with it, right? Well, not kind of. We all grew up with it. In there, it's basically they learned it. It's the Mighty Ducks series.
I got to be honest, the Vegas Golden Knights have the coolest pregame particulars I have ever seen in my life. I talked about this earlier. I know they stole that idea from the San Jose Sharks bringing in, but like you mentioned, Vegas isn't going to have many things that are new. No. Because so many teams have been doing it for so long. It just looks cooler with the lights, and I guess the fact that it's in Vegas.
It's Vegas, baby.
Everything looks cooler when it's on the spotlight of Vegas.
They win the Stanley Cup, and all of a sudden it's gold. We're changing it up a little bit. We're going to make the Stanley Cup gold because the Vegas Golden Knights won it.
So Marc-Andre Fleury, just 3 goals allowed for the Vegas Knights in their series, their first round series against the Kings, who were led by Jonathan Quick. The only reason they were in the playoffs was Jonathan Quick this season. He had he was second in the league in wins, or American-born goalies, behind Connor Hellebuck, who we're going to talk about just shortly.
Worth Hellebucks.
He's worth Hellebucks, that's for sure. But the Sharks only allowed 4 goals in their first round series, and Martin Jones has been in this position before. He's a really good goaltender, and he's going to have to be extremely good, especially between Marchizzo, 6 points, Carlson, 5, and Shea Theodore, 5 points in the first round. Those two players.
On 7 goals.
17 points combined between those 3 players.
On 7 goals. Like, just think about that. Wrap your head around there.
You can't wrap your head around anything that Vegas has done this season.
It doesn't make sense, and that's why they're going to win.
Martin Jones, he's the only reason that San Jose has a chance in this series. Although we look at some of their players, Pavelski, he's really good. Couture is really good. Evander Kane has been a guy who continues to impress me. He is a guy who was in Buffalo, hated being in Buffalo. Only reason he liked being in Buffalo is because he could go to the casino and spend major bucks.
Off to the Chino!
All day and all night. But in San Jose, I think it's a good fit for him because he wants to be somewhere hot, somewhere tropical, when he could just go on the off day, go to the beach.
Well, he lives in Vegas, too.
Well,
so, like, that's just a little hot. He just... Every game is a home game for Evander Kane in this series. Every game is a home game.
That's pretty cool.
He's like, oh, darn, I don't have to get on a flight today to get to this away game. Oh.
Well, I'm sure he's probably going to go on the team flight still. He's still part of the Vegas Golden, or San Jose Sharks, rather.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I agree. But, like, it's just, like, it's nice to be home. That was the cool part about Brian Boyle. It sucks. Like, he had a great story. God bless the guy. Like, hopes and wishes to him. But, like, he lives in Tampa Bay, and he lost in there was game 6 in Tampa Bay? No, it would have been in game 5 in Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in game 5. And that guy just had to, like, probably drive home with his wife and his kids. That's great.
Let's talk X factors for me. San Jose, it's Marcus Sorensen, 5 regular season goals, and in the playoffs alone, he already had that. So he had 3 in the playoffs. So in the whole regular season, he had 5 goals, and he had 3 in the first round of the playoffs. Pretty good stats for a guy. And that's why I love the playoffs. The playoffs bring out the best in anybody. You could be absolutely terrible.
Not Ovechkin.
He had 2 goals last game.
That's true. Sorry, Alex.
She doesn't have a Stanley Cup.
Don't at me.
What if he just tweets you after this, like, bro, stay off me on the First Row Sports Show?
You Saskatchewan-born little prick.
But wouldn't we feel proud that Alexander Ovechkin was listening to the First Row Sports Show?
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Ideal.
Yeah.
Marc-Andre Fleury, a 3-time Stanley Cup champion. He's only 33 years old, but I guess that's not so young, but he just continues to get better. Like, this guy is an absolute brick wall. Mm-hmm. How does he keep getting better? He needs this chance. Pittsburgh, I think you're stupid by giving this guy up.
It's not that they couldn't afford him. It's Marc-Andre Fleury.
Do you think it was they gave him up because Matt Murray's younger and he's, I guess you would say, a franchise goaltender?
That's exactly why. But Marc-Andre is great. Like, this guy,
2 shutouts, 4 starts, a 0.65 goals against average, and a 9.77 save percentage. That is ridiculous. This is playoff hockey.
That's playing Chell on rookie.
I like playing rookie on Chell when I'm in Be a Pro because I could score like 4. I think my record was 23 goals in a single game with one of the players. I felt so proud of myself.
So I remember on 03, like NHL 03, I was always like, oh, I just want to win. I just want to win because I'm just this little bratty kid, right? So what you could do in that game was pull the opponent's goaltender. And I found a way. I found a way on the face-off that you could literally just poke the puck through the skates of the other centerman and you'd score. It would go all the way down the ice. You know how many goals Craig Conroy scored for me for one season? Don't even try. Oh, I can't count that high.
Well, I think everybody agrees that Vegas is going to win this series, but for the Sharks, if they want to have a chance, they got to continue their balanced scoring.
Yeah.
That's a mandatory thing. 8 of their 12 forwards had 3 or more points in the first round. Mm-hmm. If that doesn't continue into round 2 and you don't see Marcus Sorensen lighting up, the Sharks really have no chance in this series. Mm-hmm. But you got to beat Marc-Andre Fleury. That's not easy, is it?
That's not easy. Playoff Fleury. Remember? Playoff Matthews. It's like playoff Fleury is just pristine. It's not, it's just... Hey, Marc-Andre Fleury is playing in the playoffs. Let's see how many goals he's not going to let in.
Hey, I know this is going to rattle you, and I don't want you to go on with this because I know you can. Mm-hmm. Is Austin Matthews ever going to show up to... Is he ever going to show up to be the playoff guy you want?
He did. We saw him last year like that. That the one game that was playoff Matthews at its finest when he scored the game winner. He doesn't... It's not that he doesn't have to be, but like, you know, against any other team other than Boston, like you're going to see him hit a new level. I can guarantee you that.
If they get by and they play Tampa, you're going to see a new Austin Matthews?
Yes. Guarantee.
The Sharks or the Golden Knights, who's going to win? How many games?
Golden Knights, say 5 or 6.
I think it's the Golden Knights in 6. And I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why, because I think the Sharks will get that scoring, and they do have momentum. Yes, obviously Vegas has momentum from their sweep, but San Jose, I would say even more so a little bit more momentum because they beat Anaheim, a team who has been in this position before. Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaf, 2 grizzled veterans. I know they haven't had playoff success, but they've been in that position before. LA had no opportunity, no chance to win that series. People were thinking that the Anaheim Ducks could beat the San Jose Sharks. All of a sudden, the Sharks beat them 4 straight.
You know what? Both of these teams, they're coming off a long rest. They're going to be really rusty. I think they're only going to get maximum 12 shots a game, and it's going to end 1-0 because, you know, like Fleury or Jones is just going to let in a beach ball. That's exactly what's going to happen. They're just rusty.
Lonnie and the Jets against the Predators. Let's cap off this show with the Jets and the Predators. Hearing that series is going to start on Friday, which kind of crapped out our plans of going back to the city this weekend and
that would have been great on Saturday.
Going to an absolutely incredible view at...
we could have done this live.
We could have done this live with the thousands and thousands and thousands of fans, although it would have been hard to monitor the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Nashville Predators. You said before that Nashville is going to win this series.
Yeah.
What's the reason for it?
They've been there before, you know, like they went to the Cup final last year. It's an easy out for me to say that, but like Winnipeg, you haven't had the best start to your career. Like, you know, it's the Atlanta Thrashers versus the Nashville Predators, really. When it comes down to it, I'm such a dick. But no. I just Nashville's been there before, and they addressed all their issues in the offseason. They brought in like Bonino, and they threw in guys here and there, and they're a better team. But Rene didn't look the best, and Hellebuck looked pretty damn good. But at the same time, they've been there before. I'm gonna say the Nashville Predators in 7, because that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And that would be a great series to watch. I would enjoy it.
You got the tied for the second best team in the NHL offensively in the Winnipeg Jets, 277 goals, tied with the Maple Leafs, only behind the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Pardon me?
It's a fact. I can't deny the stats. And then you got the Nashville Predators, who allowed
the stats are in your favor, Brady.
204 regular season goals, which is the second lowest in the NHL to Jonathan Quick, because, well, it's really the Jonathan Quick Kings.
And as we are doing this podcast, CBC Manitoba has just tweeted that the NHL announces that the Jets and the Predators will face off Friday for Game 1 in Smashville.
Friday and Sunday.
It's confirmed. It just got confirmed, sorry.
I like to confirm things even before they're confirmed.
Oh, and Meek Mill is being released. I got to put my phone down. I'm getting too excited.
Yeah, get off your phone. Like, that's not what we're here for.
But Meek Mill.
Meek Mill. Awesome. Meek Mill. Great.
He is freed.
How do the Nashville Predators stop the Winnipeg Jets' speed? You saw a lot in the first round. Every time Nashville is in any sort of trouble inside their own zone, they flip the puck through the air and then they bust out down the ice. You saw Victor Arvidsson did that. He picked up a puck that was flipped through the air up at center, and then he got past the defenders, Colorado Avalanche, and scored the goal. That same thing isn't going to happen against the Winnipeg Jets, especially because they're game planning against that. Because Nashville did not do that as much in the regular season as they did in the postseason, so it's hard to practice for that. Paul Maurice knows that's coming in the second round. How is Nashville going to beat the Winnipeg Jets' speed? They don't have as much speed as the Jets do. How do they beat them in that respect?
Well, I think you touched it and you hit the nail on the head. Like coaching, you're talking about Paul Maurice. He's a gamer, and you know who's across from him on the bench? Well, beside him, it's Peter Laviolette. Peter Laviolette, he's a pretty damn good coach too. And you know what? Both these guys have been around for a long time, longer than we've both been alive, coaching hockey. So honestly, it's up in the air for me. How are they going to get that speed thing explanation that you just said? You know what? They'll find a way. Obviously, they're going to find a way. They're the Nashville Predators. You know what they might do? They might get a little chippy. Did you see what Subban did to McKinnon in that first round? You know what?
Oh, it's gonna
do it to Scheifele. Do it to Wheeler.
You got Dustin Byfuglien out there. It's going to be an ugly series.
It's going to be fun though.
I want to go back to your point earlier. You said that being in the Stanley Cup Finals, and you know that's why Nashville's going to win. They've been there before.
Yeah.
You look at the series against the Minnesota Wild and the Winnipeg Jets. The Wild had 748 games played in the Stanley Cup playoffs, combined to 264 from the Winnipeg Jets. And what happened? I don't buy into this whole crap that they've been there before, they know how to win. It doesn't matter.
You know what's funny? Matt Cullen's probably got half of those.
Oh yeah, a veteran. But that's what I mean.
Like they were a veteran team, but Minnesota's
Minnesota's
not that good.
Nashville is way better than Minnesota. I will not deny that. They're extremely good. They have some of the top players in the league. But just because they've been there before, that does not dismiss how much skill the Winnipeg Jets have. Now, granted, Vezina winner or a finalist rather, Pekka Rinne, Arvidsson, Fisher. You got to wonder how he's gonna calculate into this whole series. Mm-hmm. The winner of this series should
the only way they don't win the Stanley Cup is if Vegas is just like, oh, you see this golden horseshoe? You know where it came out of?
That would be quite the crazy script if the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup.
I can see it.
But the one problem is I don't see the Winnipeg Jets winning this series. And I'm going to tell you, one reason is the back end of the Predators is so darn good. Between Roman Josi, Matthias Ekholm, PK Subban, Ryan Ellis, they had 203 points in the regular season. The Winnipeg Jets don't have that same firepower from the back end. Yes, Tyler Myers had a great series against Minnesota. Dustin Byfuglien had...
Isn't he hurt still?
No, he played. He came back. Dustin Byfuglien had 5 points. He was tied with Mark Scheifele. He had a great series. But
Dustin Byfuglien, he's not good in the playoffs. Just chuck him up to forward for a couple shifts. We're good, boys.
You can put him there.
Yeah.
But Winnipeg, at the end of the day, they don't have that same core that the Nashville Predators do offensively. Winnipeg, I would say, they outskill Nashville forwards-wise.
Yeah.
But defensively, and it's an old cliche, and I hate to say it, defense wins championships.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Nashville will win the series.
Winnipeg is on the right road, obviously. They're on a great road. But Nashville's been there before. They're farther down the road than Winnipeg is to be great. And for the next 5 to 10 years, watching these guys battle it out, I'll watch that. I'll tune in.
You know what the funniest thing was? When the Jets came back to Winnipeg 2.0, they said the Jets were going to win in the 2019-2020 season. That means next season. And I believe the Winnipeg Jets can win the Stanley Cup next year. This is not their year. They're not going to get past the Nashville Predators.
The Jets and the Leafs in the final.
Wouldn't that be so?
The Jets and the Leafs.
You would have a heart attack. We have to postpone our show because I cannot have you screaming into a mic for an hour twice a week.
The Jets and the Leafs in the final.
I can't do it. You're going to be a full-time Manitoba boy by then. You got to cheer for the Jets a little bit at least.
And don't you ever say I'm going to be a Bombers fan. I'm never
full
going to be a Bombers fan. And
Toba.
moving forward in about 2-3 weeks, just so everyone knows, we are going to be transitioning, not fully, but a little bit more into CFL football because I am a bleed green Rider fan. And the man looking at me right now with all that
beauty
and just disgust in his face. What are you?
I like the Bombers. Actually, one of my favorite teams is the BC Lions. People hate me for it, and they're like, I think that's why me and the morning show guy, Alec Gaines, get along so well. Because we both like the Lions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the Lions are better than, like, Winnipeg.
Man, I chatted with Keaton LaFrance today. Pretty cool. A Winnipeg guy going to play for the Bombers. You remember that Eastern final against Edmonton a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Lit it up. Winnipeg boy.
And it sucked because, like, at the end of the season, you kind of saw that coming for the Riders. Both LaFrance and Dembski. Like, you knew Dembski wanted to go home. And it made sense. It was going to happen. And I'm not mad. I'm going to miss Nick Dembski, but I wish him all the best. I really hope that he plays well every single game, except for the Labor Day Classic, the Banjo Bowl, and any other game that the Riders play the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
The 2018 Grey Cup champions, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Don't say anything, Brady. Nashville or Winnipeg? One final thought. Wrap it all up.
Nashville in 6.
Nashville also in 6 games. This has been the First Row Sports Show. Brady Lang, thank you so much for joining me. We'll do this all again, maybe on Thursday, maybe Friday morning.
Whatever.
Maybe I'll come in at 3 a.m. just for you.
Just for me. That would just be a treat, but hell.
Heck, that would be like a cherry if you added on some ice cream.
Yeah, if we're doing it Thursday, I'm going to be either very happy or very sad.
I want to do it if you're very, very disappointed because the Bruins are going to beat the Leafs. The Jets are going to lose in 6 games against the Predators. Brady, thank you so much. We'll chat later in the week.
All right, see ya. Go Leafs, go!
I'm Darnell Duff. This has been the First Row Sports Show. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Leafs in 7, baby.
Go Bruins.
Thanks for listening to the First Row Sports Show. Check us out on Twitter at First Row Sports Zero and Facebook. Follow the guys on Twitter at It's the Duffy1 and Y Darble.